Hey, my name's Chris Eggenberger. I run a small 3D print shop in my basement, and today I want to walk you through how I've been pricing my products. I've had quite a few people in the comments asking, how do I figure out what I should charge for a product or design? So we'll go through that today. Let's get started. Today we're going to walk through the repackaging and listing of this product, which is a wall mount bracket for the DeWalt 20-volt battery system. And it's been on the shop for quite some time, but hasn't really sold and got very little traction. And I think it's because of the way I'm trying to sell the product. Right now you can buy one or as many as you would like. And when you compare that to your competitors or my competitors, it just doesn't stack up. Now, the whole idea with this is what I call peanut butter and jelly. It's a great complementary product to my charger bracket for the DeWalt system, which does sell well. So it's just a matter of getting this a little bit better positioned, and we're going to walk through exactly what that looks like. The redesign, which I took some feedback from you in the comments, so thank you so much. I've decided to now sell them in quantities of 5. And part of that is the package they come in is now a storage box that you can keep in your shop after you get all of these mounted on the wall. So you can just pop this open here, and inside it's got all 5 brackets, and I dropped the hardware that comes shipped with it as well inside. It's got the front label with the name of the product, but then once you're done, you can flip it around and use it with your own description of what you want to store in this bin. Now, I've had some people ask specific questions about, do you price based off of how long a print takes, or do you include electricity in the cost? And the answer is kinda, but not really. At this scale, which again, I'm not even at 365 sales yet, I am so small, my really only concern is, one, am I actually making money on a product? Because obviously you don't want to lose money on a sale. And then number 2, am I making enough to then reinvest back into the business? So those are my 2 primary concerns, which makes the whole pricing system a lot easier. The videos you see online about getting really into the weeds on electricity cost, print time, how many, if it takes an hour to print, how many dollars per hour should you charge for your printers? Those are things that come into play at scale, and at a scale that I'm not even at yet, and I feel like probably most of you aren't either. So start simple, start slow, and now let's break down the exact cost of what all goes into packing one of those products. So you really don't need a lot to get started. I actually wrote down all of the expenses and itemized everything I need to pack here. If you want to save yourself some hassle, do it in Google Docs or Excel or something. But here's all of the items that are necessary to actually package this product and get it ready for a customer. First is the filament itself. This is what it looks like coming off the printer. That cost me $2.14 for all of this. Now that's 5 units. And we're all good there. Now I need the paper insert that I designed. That's going to go in the front of the box. It cost me 2 cents. I'm going to need 10 screws. That's going to cost me 20 cents. I'm going to need a thank you note to put in the box. That's going to cost me 10 cents. I'm going to need the box itself. Now I've got this size here, and that one cost me 80 cents per unit. The packing material, this stuff cost me 32 cents for the amount that I'm doing here, which I think is like 2 feet worth of packing material. I need the shipping labels. One is a packing slip and one's the label that's going to go in the box. Each one of those is 10 cents, so 20 cents total. Going to need a little piece of tape to keep the box closed. That's going to be 5 cents. And I need the shrink wrap to get everything packaged so that way it's nice and great for transport and something they can open once they arrive. Now that we know how much the product costs to make, which in this case is $3.83, which that might be backwards, we can figure out what we want to price it as. Now, when it comes to how much should I actually charge, there's one thing I want to show here on Etsy that makes it a little easier to understand. On Etsy, you can create a new listing, and if you scroll down, you can actually go to price and inventory and do price. Let's put in 20 bucks, and then there's a little estimated profits button. Do the drop down, and there you can see your costs. Now, we just talked about the cost being $3.83, so I'll put that in here. And you can see that makes our estimated profits at $13.82 after their fees, right? This does not include taxes that you have to pay the government on your profits for the course of the year, but this gives you a good ballpark to understand what you're going to make. As you noticed, I included all the shipping materials within the cost of the product. I don't like to tack on additional fees or anything with the shipping. When somebody estimates their shipping costs, I really want that to be the cost for the shipping. Now, Etsy does have a $35 and up order gives you free shipping. I have a complementary product that we talked about earlier, which is this guy, and it sells for 15. So if I price it at 20 for the product we just went through, and this is 15 and they ordered both, that puts them just at 35. And with any sale or a discount code on one of these, they're not going to qualify for that free shipping. So pricing it at $22, $50, or $25 will help get that customer over, so they don't have to pay for the shipping label itself, which I think could be a value add, and makes it a little bit easier for me, because when I get larger orders, it makes more sense financially for the business. A couple things I wanted to address, because I know there'll be questions in the comments about it, is, well, you've got the per unit pricing. Where do you get that? And I'll tell you what, it's pretty tedious. You just write down all of the things you bought. So for instance, if I bought 50 boxes that cost me $50, it's going to be $1 per box. And that's how you figure out the per unit price for every single item that needs to go into that order. Now, the question of where do I get all that stuff? I don't buy in an efficient way. I pretty much buy my stuff all on Amazon, and I buy it as close to the time that I need it. So pretty much on demand, or on-demand inventory. I forgot what it's called. But that's because I'm super small. I don't have any. I don't have the scale with my business yet to be able to go out and partner with somebody who just sells boxes and get deep business discounts on that. So there are ways to improve this moving forward, but I'm not there yet. The second thing I want to cover is, when you saw on Etsy, it was like $13 and something in profit. That's crazy. You've got to consider that, like my machines, that's money that then has to go to purchase new machines as I grow. That's money that has to go into marketing and ad spend to drive people over to the website or to my Etsy shop to see those things. That's money that goes into Etsy ads. And then when you consider that you still have taxes taking out of it, and if you want to be really safe and do yourself solid, I'd still check with an accountant, but like out of all the money you earned, save 30% of that for taxes at the end of the year. That's kind of like a good rule of thumb. But again, check with an accountant. I'm not an accountant, not my forte. And then on top of that, there are some other benefits that if you had a full-time job, and this is something you want to do full-time, you need to price your products in a way that it helps pay for that. Number one is clearly your time. That's important. But then number two is things like healthcare. Those are things that down the road will all be factored into that cost somewhat, so you can make a living doing this. So anyway, that's my little rant. Probably going to price that product around $20 to $25. Now, for an example of packing, I've had some people specifically ask for this. Let's act like I just got an order. I'm going to pull this off the print bed and I'll put it all together for you. So step number one is I'm just going to grab these and we're going to pop them into the box. That's easy. Or take my screws and drop in a couple per slot. Now I need my paper insert, which typically will be closer. When I'm doing this, it'll be on my pegboard wall here. That drops in, and then I'm going to grab my lid, and that's going to pop on. So now we have this product, and it needs to be shrink wrapped. So I have some 5x7 shrink wrap bags here. Literally, you can just find these on Amazon. They're super simple. And then I have had some questions about my shrink wrap machine as well. This is a $20 shrink wrap machine that I asked for in a Secret Santa thing. So it's really the cheapest one. You just kind of hold it down there and it seals the package and you tear it off. And then I grab my heat gun, go ahead and get this all put together. And we'll have the final product here soon. Now I will say there are faster heat guns. This is just the one I have. You can also find heat guns super cheap on Amazon, so don't go out and buy the most expensive one. And now I have a final product. Now let's get it in a box. So the packing process is pretty easy. I take my packing slip, just double check. I put that on the bottom. I'll go ahead and grab the product and roll that up nicely in here to keep it safe and drop that in. I'll grab my thank you note, put that on top, seal up the box, put a piece of tape here, and then pack and seal this. Now I'm not going to do that so I can use the box for another order, but that's really all it takes to get this product shipped out. All right, well, that's it for today. Thanks again for tuning in. The support that you guys are giving me is overwhelming. I appreciate the feedback and comments. Throw some stuff down below if you have any questions about the video today or anything else alongside the business. That goal is still 365. I am behind the ball, but hopefully some of these updates I'm making with revisions on products and also trying to get some new products out the door will help boost sales coming into the end of the year. Other than that, stay warm. I know it snow fell just here yesterday, and we'll see you in a few days.